Hi everybody, Lydia Fiedler here for Hero Arts, and I am going to tell you the basics of using the MISTI stamping tool, which is now available at Joann stores. And the MISTI comes in 3 different sizes: the Mini MISTI, the Original MISTI, and the Memory MISTI for scrapbookers. They all work exactly the same, and they have an accessory in the MISTI Creative Corners. So I'm going to show you how they work today. This is what the MISTI looks like. When it comes in the package, there will be a strong bar magnet on the back, so be sure and take that off. The base is magnetic, and it comes with a pad of grid paper. You'll only need 1 piece at a time. This grid paper will help you with alignment and other features of the MISTI. It also comes with a black foam pad, and the base of the MISTI is both magnetic and gridded, and you'll see these high visibility rulers for aligning your cardstock on all 3 sides. The magnet will stick firmly to the paper to hold your projects down while stamping. Now I'm using the Hero Arts Color Layering Palm Set. This is a cute little set with some adorable monkeys in it. And this is to show you the basics of how this tool works. It is 8.5 by 6.5. That is the stamping area. And the lid itself has an etched grid in it to help you line up your stamps. You'll secure the cardstock into the corner, which is the real genius of the MISTI. And you will add your photopolymer stamp with the stamping side down onto your cardstock wherever you would like it on your project. The magnet will hold the paper in place while stamping. It won't prevent the paper from moving when you lift the stamp up, but the corner is what makes it so that you have precision stamping over and over again in exactly the same place. Now you'll see if you got an image that was poorly inked, the MISTI makes it so that you can perfect that image just by stamping it again, securing your cardstock in the corner, and you will have crisp, perfect details on every stamped image. So no more throwing away cardstock. You can have true precision. You can ink numerous times in the MISTI to get the desired ink coverage that you choose. You can also make colors lighter or darker by stamping them a different number of times. Now, another great feature of the MISTI is it makes it easy to do duplicates of any design. So once you've gone to the trouble of designing it, just put a new piece of paper in your MISTI and repeat the same stamping design over and over again, and your cards will be truly identical. Now I'm taking the layering portion, the next layering stamp, from the Color Layering Palm, which adds the detail to the palm fronds. And again, you just set it stamping side down onto your image. Clear stamps make it easy to position the stamp on the MISTI, and then you just pick it up with the lid, and you can stamp the layering design on top of the solid image that you stamped first. Now I'm using the Hero Arts ink cubes here, and these work great for inking up smaller stamps in the MISTI. I'm going to take the opportunity, because I can, to ink it up twice to make that second layer just a little bit darker. You'll see that crisp detail perfectly stamped in the same place as many times as you need to. Now here I have a Hero Arts Rectangle Infinity die that I have just taken a black piece of cardstock the same size as the inside of the MISTI and run it through my die cutting machine to cut a template for a card front. This is the foam from the inside of the MISTI, and you do not need that foam with cling stamps, because you'll see cling stamps already have the foam on the back, and the MISTI can be used with cling or clear stamps. The only difference is you use the foam with the clear stamps and you use the cling without. So I also cut a piece of cardstock that fits precisely in the template with the same die, and that gives me the ability to go all the way to the edge of a card front with a large background cling stamp. You can ink this up with large or small ink pads. The 2 colors that I've used so far are Forever Green and Lime Green, and I'm just quickly inking up the all over background stamp with the lime green. You can stamp it as many times as you want, and even though this is a very finely detailed stamp, you will be able to see all the details. Now, the Creative Corners accessory for the Misty allow you to do lots of fun tricks inside your Misty by creating additional corners aside from the two that you already see. There's an L, there are two triangles, and then there are two corners that actually have magnets embedded in them. Let's say you wanted to stamp across a small strip of paper, and you wanted the design to go off both of the edges. You couldn't do that in the corner because the stamp would be touching the right ruler of the Misty, but using the L-shaped piece from Creative Corners allows me to let the cardstock float in the middle of the Misty but still be perfectly aligned for multiple inking and stamping. All I have to do is put the L-shaped piece back in. If the cardstock has moved, if it hasn't, I can just stamp again. This strong magnet helps you make sure that those little strips don't move. And there it is. It's perfectly stamped. It goes off both edges, and you can make that pattern with the addition of these accessories. The triangular pieces are fun for making sentiments go at an angle or patterns, anything that's in a long stripe. You can do a perfect diagonal, and you can repeat that diagonal with the use of these triangle pieces. So any stamp that has a straight bottom edge, it's great for alphabets, especially in the Memory Misty if you are a scrapbooker. And you just line the stamp up against that diagonal, and you have a perfectly angled stamp. Here I'm just using a sentiment. And I'm inking this up in Rose Madder. And I'm going to show you how you can use the grid paper to make incremented stamping designs. So I have this first sentiment here. The grid paper with a 1/4 inch grid will help me move this out perfectly from the corner. I'm going 4 squares up and 4 squares over from the corner on the grid paper. And then I'm securing that with one of the magnetic corner pieces that basically takes my corner from the bottom right of the Misty and puts it out in the middle of my Misty and lets me make sure my cardstock is straight. I'm stamping this again, and now you'll see you can make repeating patterns of sentiments, or if you have border stamps, that kind of thing. Any stamp you have can be turned into a repeating angled pattern with the addition of the Creative Corners, the magnetic piece, the triangle piece, etc. Finally, I want to show you how to evenly space stamped elements on your card using the rulers in the Misty. I will set a card front up in the corner of my Misty and check where the top of the cardstock is in relation to the ruler. Just make a note of that. Then I will pick the stamp up with the lid of the Misty. Always make sure this cardstock is secured in the corner of the Misty again before stamping in case it moved. And then stamp. I love the ability to ink multiple times in case it wasn't perfect the first time. And now all you do is I'm going to move mine exactly an inch. You can use any interval, but I've noted where the cardstock is in relation to the ruler, and so I'm moving it exactly an inch away, securing it against the side ruler with the super strong magnet. Then I will stamp one that's perfectly spaced. This is something that's very difficult to do by hand, and the Misty makes it easy. And do exactly the same thing. Just slide it up to the same place, an inch away. And you never have to worry about getting these things crooked again. Stamp that image, ink it up, and stamp it again. Using solid stamps and having the ability to ink them multiple times is definitely solving a problem in stamping. So there I have that perfectly spaced out little row. Now the other thing is clear stamps make it easy to align builder stamp sets. So in this case, you're building the palm tree with the top fronds and then the stem of the palm tree. So I'll stamp the detailed image first this time instead of the solid image. Doesn't matter what order you do it in. And stamp it twice to get that little bark detail crisp. Then you simply position your solid stamp on top of that image, pick it up, and ink that up in a lighter color, so I'm preserving the dark color underneath. Layering stamps are a real breeze with the MISTI. You can also use both corners of the MISTI if you are making multiples or you're having a class and you want it to be easy to have the stamps in the same position without removing one stamp to do the second one. So in this case, I'm inking up the solid portion of the color layering palm tree with lime green ink, and then I simply move it to the other corner where I had pre-positioned the detailed stamp, and I can stamp that down, and you can see how quick and easy it would be to make multiples of any cards. Thanks so much for watching.